If you have ongoing exposure to controlling people, it's a virtual certainty that you're going to experience blurry boundaries, which is why I've created the extensive online course called This Is Me, Establishing Boundaries with the Controllers in Your Life. There's a link below that will give you all of the details, and I hope that you would find it therapeutic. As you become more and more familiar with the pattern of narcissism, one very regretful kind of thing that you can come to terms with is the fact that what you thought you saw on the outside with that narcissistic person was not exactly indicative of who they were back behind the scenes on the inside of themselves. In other words, narcissists can be two-timers. They can be backstabbers. They can give you the appearance that they're into you when in fact behind the scenes there's something else going on. And when we talk about backstabbing, we're talking about somebody who's quite willing to criticize you behind your back. They can go so far as to scheme against you behind your back. You don't know about it. All the while, they're pretending to be your ally and they want to give the appearance of being your confidant. And it's a very nefarious way for them to engage with you, and typically you don't really learn about it until there's much water under the bridge, and it can be pretty painful. There are multiple ingredients that we can look at that shows what that backstabbing narcissist is willing to do. First, of course, they're going to give you the appearance of being very friendly and loyal toward you. They can seem seemingly interested in all sorts of details about your life. They like knowing about your personal history and your likes and dislikes. They like knowing the people that you know, and they like engaging with people with you as your buddy. You know, it could be that they want to know about your family and your friends and things like that. And then in addition, what they'll want to do is they'll want to make sure that you have bonding experiences. That it's not just a matter of collecting data, which is what they're really doing, but they may want to say, well, let's go do some lunch, or let's have this outing, or let's do these things that are kind of fun with each other, and we'll kind of build our relationship here. Sometimes there can actually be a sexual tension that can come between you and that person, and you act upon that. And of course, that creates a form of bond and connection there. It may be that this is somebody that you talk with on a pretty significant level about your dreams, your desires, your hurts, and some of your many sensitive kinds of situations that you've been through. Anything that they can do that says, hey, you and me, we're connected here, they like to do that and be that insider. And then on top of it, it can all be sprinkled with nice compliments or gifts or flattering statements, and they may, especially when they're in public with you, say very nice things about you, all giving the appearance that you and me, hey, we're tight, we're close. And yet you don't realize it in the moment, but behind the scenes, they're working other people as well. You see, these backstabbing narcissists like to keep alliances with other people as well, and those other people may not be the ones that you would necessarily have on the inside of your trust circle, if we could call it that. And you may learn later on that all the while that they were doing all these nice and connecting things with you, with someone else, they may have been making jokes at your expense, or they may have been mocking you or rolling the eyes. Can you believe that he or she thinks this? They're constantly looking for a better deal, if you will, and they can actively perhaps be sabotaging things that are important to you. And as you're working together, they may be working with somebody else, shoveling information at them to make it look like it's they're with you, but in fact they're working against you. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I mean, it could be that you're in a dating situation and this person is giving you the impression that, man, you and me, we got something good going on here. And you're not even aware, but behind the scenes, they're saying the same thing to someone else. And it could be that they're hanging with you so that they can get to know someone else. And when they find that someone else, then you're expendable. It could be that you have had an ongoing mutual acquaintance and friendship with yourself and other individuals. And so that narcissist can buddy up with those other people that you thought were your friends. And they can, that person can use the friends that you bring to the equation. It may be that money is being hidden, and they learn about things of that nature about you that can be beneficial to them, so they'll use you behind your back with respect to that. I've had people that in a divorce situation, they may have had somebody that they thought was a close friend, it may even be a family member, who will then sidle up with the person that's being divorced, your soon-to-be ex, and they'll say ugly things about you to that person when in fact there's no real reason to do that. They're willing to tell lies about you behind your back in order to advance their cause. I mean, there's so many possibilities that are there, and it's terribly disillusioning when it finally begins to come to the surface. What's going on here? Well, first and foremost, let's recognize that these backstabbing narcissists are driven by jealousy and envy. Now, there's a possession issue when we talk about jealousy and envy. Jealousy means that I possess something and I don't want you to have it. Envy means that you possess something and I wish I could have it. So when you engage with narcissists, they want to have you, and they want you to be kind of a prize that they have in their bag, so to speak. But then they're also looking at other folks thinking, well, I want what those people over there have too. So there's the jealousy and the envy. They like feeling like they've got the insider position in both kind of directions. And they're very possessive kind of people, and it's all about me, me, me. And you can see that there's a deep entitlement that drives them. But in fact, another thing that is going on, these are very insecure people. These are individuals who gain their security by their connections or by having the right kind of appearances. They like sidling up with folks who are attractive or appealing. And so if they have to shift their narrative or shift their story based on who it is that's in front of them, it's like, yeah, it can be that way. They're very chameleon-like. Typically, these are individuals who have a lot of hidden anger. And many times it comes through in passive-aggressive kind of ways, rather than being the kind of person that says, you know, if we have a conflict, why don't we put our thoughts down together and let's talk about it. That's clean assertiveness. No, they tend to suppress a lot. They can be a victim. And it's like, you know, life has done me dirty. And so I just need to get what I need to get. And I don't care what I have to do to get there. And so they tend to have a lot of suppressed anger that allows them, if you will, to take this entitled approach toward life. And then in addition, these backstabbing narcissists are very power consumed. They like being with those who have the it factor. And if you're that for a while, it's like, okay, I'll do that with you. And then if somebody else comes along, okay, I'll do that with them. And as a result, you look back and you can see that the non-power ingredients that they were using with you were just a ruse. For example, if they were kind, basically kindness means that there's a tenderness. It's like, oh, I'll be tender if they can get me somewhere, but it's fake. And so what they're really after is authority and prestige and power and being in the heightened position. With these backstabbing narcissists, it's all about appearances, baby. That's the way they are. And so you only learn typically about this when it's way too late and you're usually very invested, and it can be very disillusioning, and there can be a grief that you begin to experience. That being the case, let's at least say you want to stay alert. When somebody comes into your life that's almost a little bit too good to be true, or too friendly, or too willing, or too eager, you want to just kind of slow down, be patient, and just question, okay, I like friendly and all of that, but I need to make sure that I take my time in getting to know people. Don't be overly impressed by somebody's flattery or willingness to tune into you. I don't know that some of you are so hungry to be affirmed that you can sometimes overlook some of the red flags that might be there. When it's necessary, you do want to stand up for yourself, after they've kind of said some bad things about you behind your back. It's okay for you to go to people that are mutual acquaintances and let it be known, I do have a different perspective. And so you don't want to necessarily be quiet and just say, well, I guess they messed with me and they got away with it. Stand up for yourself in terms of your own dignity. But at the same time, you also want to take the high road. You don't want to be the kind of person that goes into the pig pen that the narcissist represents. And, well, if they're bad, let me tell you, if they say bad things about me, let me tell you bad things about them. Most people like it when you can say, it turned out to be something that I didn't think it was going to be up front. I have more important things that I need to pursue, and that person's not a part of it. They like it when you take the high road. And then let's acknowledge that when you have somebody that's willing to be this kind of backstabber, I'm hoping it can cause you to have that much more of an appreciation for the friendships and the connections that you have that really are true and are based in genuine loyalty. Those are actually like rare gems, and they don't come around a whole lot. But when you do get those, I'm hoping that you can savor them for what it's worth. And then realize we have to be careful. There are schemers out there. And so sometimes you have to just know they can get you. But in the meantime, I'm hoping that you can say, I'm going to stay committed to the far better alternatives. I want to be a person of dignity, respect, and civility, not pseudo. I want to be the real deal. So I hope that videos such as this can give you some good insight with respect to what you're dealing with. And I hope that as you see them for what they are, it can give you that much more resolve to be the better alternative. That's what we do here on Team Healthy. If you've not already hit the subscribe button, I would encourage you to do so, and we'll keep more videos coming at you. And by the way, I can say, Gus is not a backstabber. It's interesting that people make a lot of comments in the comment section about Gus, and our animal friends remind us there's such a thing that we can appreciate called loyalty and acceptance and unconditional regard, and that's what our animals represent. And I want us to appreciate what that is and do it on the human level with each other too. So to me, that's what Gus represents, and I appreciate all your nice comments about him. Now, if you have a need to unpack this with a therapist, then I would strongly encourage you to do so. I'm so pleased that I'm sponsored by the people at BetterHelp.com. There's a link below that will take you to their website, and you can get help from a whole team of licensed professional counselors or therapists that you can choose from. And so if that's a need, I would strongly encourage you to pursue that. We have my therapeutic courses. And with each course, I put a lot of work into it. There are classes online, if you will. There are multiple videos and teaching documents, and then questions that will guide you in a therapeutic direction. Ready, Set, Connect about making healthy connection skills. This is me about your boundaries, free to be, finding yourself despite the controllers. We have my podcast. And those of you who are in the podcast world, look that up. It's Surviving Narcissism podcast. In addition, we have my books and other resources. And I truly appreciate you allowing me to be on your journey with you. Well, the backstabbing is real, unfortunately, and sometimes the hurt and the pain that comes along with it is real, but I'm hoping that in seeing it, and as you've gone through the experience, it really can cause you to say, someone needs to be the one that stands up for decency, and that's going to be me. And the more you're able to continue to live in that direction, then I'm hoping it will take you to a peace that a narcissist just is not going to have. And that's what you get to hold on to. I truly want you to be a person of peace.